Welcome to class tonight. I do hope that you're doing well and I hope you had a great day. We're going to be working tonight with what I feel is another pretty easy lesson. Now you see in the board there, you see we're going to be estimating. And we've already worked with estimating. We've done that before. We know when we're estimating, we're not looking for an exact right answer. So that automatically makes it slightly easier because I just need to find an answer that's pretty close. Well, this is also a very practical lesson. While it is easy, it's also very practical because this lesson talks about specifically how to use your money wisely, or how to spend your money wisely, how to make sure you are spending your money wisely. This lesson is going to help you out when you get into that real world and are paying for your own things. This lesson is going to help you out a great deal. So I hope you pay very, very good attention tonight. So we're going to start off by discussing what we like to call sales tax. Now, sales tax is never fun to pay because what sales tax does is it actually helps fund the government. Now, it's never fun to pay because it actually we see a price tag on something, but we know that when we go to the cash register, we're actually paying more than that actual price tag. That's the sales tax. That's the government taking a little bit of, adding a little bit onto the cost of that specific item. So now we've gone over the basic idea. Now we just need to see how it works. Now you see at the very top, it says right there, a scarf costs $14.99, and there is a 6% sales tax. I'll underline those two numbers on purpose. Those are the numbers we're going to be dealing with. Now, first of all, I want to emphasize this. We can actually say that the government takes, or the government adds onto 6% of $14.99. That's going to be the sales tax. Now you see, I use the word of. Now, I'm hoping one of your previous teachers mentioned this fact, but the word of, when we're talking about in math, that word means to multiply. So when you hear or when you see something of something else, that means we're actually going to be multiplying. So the operation is actually very, very simple. I just simply need to find 6% of $14.99. Now, going back just a couple minutes, I said we were going to be estimating. We're going to be estimating. So to estimate, I don't need to find the exact range here. I just need to get pretty close. So how about, instead of doing $14.99, because that's a little scary, how about we round that up to 15? $14.99 is really, really close to 15. So why don't we find 6% of 15? Now, I'm going to remind you of one more thing. When we talk about percents, remember we learned this, that 6% is the same thing as writing 0 6/10. It's the exact same idea. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply 15 times 0 6/10. I'm going to multiply that out. So that's going to be 30, that's going to be 6, 7, 8, 9, and then bring my decimal down right there. So I know that the sales tax, or 6% of 15, is going to be 90 cents. So now I do want to emphasize there is one more very small step. I need to take that sales tax and add it to my original cost. So it's going to be $15 plus 90 cents. I'm going to get rid of this because that's annoying. There we go. Alright, so $15 plus 90 cents is going to be $15.90. And so you see my estimated cost with sales tax, so right here, is going to be $15.90. Now I want to work on one more to make sure we understand this. So there's a similar problem. A hat costs $9.99, and there's once again a 6% sales tax. So if I'm going to find the total cost of that hat, so I'm looking for the total cost of that hat, I'm looking for 6% of $9.99. Now remember that of means to multiply, so we're going to be multiplying. Now first things first, I'm going to estimate $9.99. What number is that much closer to? How about we use 10? That's a lot easier. 10 is a lot easier than say $9.99. So let's just do that. Okay, so I'm estimating, I'm rounding $9.99 to 10, and I'm going to multiply it by 6%, or 0 and 6 tenths. I'm going to multiply that out and get 60 cents. So now I take this, because this is the sales tax, that's how much the government gets when I buy this item. Now I'm going to add it in, so $10 plus 60 cents equals $10.60. So you see right there how I took my original cost, I figured out my sales tax, and then I added it to my cost to figure out the final cost of this hat. All right, so that's sales tax. Once again, of, very important word means multiply. I find the percent of the number and then add it in. All right, so that is sales tax. Now let's go ahead and do something a little bit different. Not very different though, because you're actually going to be doing the exact same process. We are going to be finding what waiters call a tip. When you go to a nicer restaurant and a waiter does a good job serving you, it's appropriate, it's kind to give the waiter a tip. Now, normally nowadays we give a 15% tip, meaning I give the waiter 15% of the restaurant bill. You heard the word of in there, so you automatically think, oh, I'm going to be multiplying once again. So the question says, the restaurant bill comes to $26.22. What would a 15% tip be? Now the nice thing is, it's not actually asking you the total cost. It's not saying how much would the total bill be. So we don't actually have to do this back here. Remember we did this right here, this additional part, let me circle it. We did that additional part right there. We had to add it to find the total cost. We're not actually looking for the total cost this time. We're just trying to find the actual tip. So we're going to do the exact same process we did earlier. So I'm going to estimate that. I'm going to round it. Well, 26.22. How about we round that to 25? That's really close to 25. And then I'm going to multiply it by 15%. So it's 0.1. I'm going to multiply that out. Actually, I do need more room, so I'm going to get rid of this too. Oh, wrong thing. Yeah, need that too, don't I? All right, here we go. So I'm going to multiply those two together. So I'm going to multiply. I rounded this, and then I figured 15% of, which means I multiply. So I'm going to multiply this out. So it's going to be bring my decimal straight down, and I see that my tip is going to be $3.75. So a 15% tip of this bill right here would be $3.75. Now, that is an estimate. An estimate. I don't know on exactly. If I want to find exactly, I would just multiply this times that, and I'd be done. But I'm looking for the estimate, so $3.75 is pretty close. Now I do want to take a moment and point out the book does something very different. They actually separate 15%, 10%, 5%, and it's just very confusing. My suggestion would be just use my method right here. 15% of the cost, and it's very easy. Let's do one more. 41, so I'm estimating a 15% tip for a bill of $41.63. $41.63, that's a scary, let's make it easier, let's do 40. That's easy. 40, and I'm going to multiply it by 0 and 15 hundredths. I'm going to multiply that out. It's going to be 20, and I'm going to get $6. So my estimated tip is going to be about $6 because all I do is multiply those out. All right, so that is sales tax and then tips. There is one more area that we need to work on. We need to find what's called the sale price. So we're going to work on the sale price. So it's right here. This is a very practical skill because we all go into stores and we see a price and we see a little sign that says 30% off. And we wonder, what does that mean? Well, today we're going to learn. So it says, the first question says, a regular price pair of hiking boots is $57.95. The store is having a 30% off sale. Estimate the price. So I see here the total cost is $57.95, and I'm looking at 30% off. So what I'm actually going to be doing, two different steps. Similar to back here when I found sales tax, I had to find the percent and then add it in. When I'm looking at a sale, I am actually going to be subtracting that price. So first of all, I need to find 30% of $57.95. Now, $57.95, that is a very scary number. Let's make it easier by just saying 60. That's nice and easy. So what I'm going to do is 60 times 30%, or 0 3/10, multiply that out. That's going to be 180. And I go 1, 2 decimal places, so my decimal place is going to be right there. So 30% of 60 is going to equal $18. Now, does that mean, yay, the boots are only $18? No. It means it's $18. Oh, that's kind of awkward. It means it's $18 off the sale price. That means I need to subtract this from my cost. So 60 minus 18 is going to equal 42. So therefore, the total cost, or the estimated cost, is going to be $42. That's the estimated cost. Once again, I found 30% of the cost. Then I subtract that from the total cost. Let's do one more just to make sure. The second one says, a baseball glove is on sale for 40% off the original price of $40.19. Estimate the sale price of the glove. So once again, that's a little scary number. Let's say 40. And now I know it's 40% off the original price. So first of all, I need to find 40% of 40. So 40 times 0 and 4/10. Going to multiply, it's going to be, so 1, 2 decimal places, so there you go. So it's $16 off. So that is 40%. So it's $16 off the original price. So I'm going to do 40 minus 16. That's going to be 3, 10, 4, and 2. So my final cost is going to be $24. That's my total cost, because that is 40% off of the original price. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the lesson. You see how very practical this is. You see how very we go into stores and do this all the time. The key tonight is going to be finding or multiplying the percent by the cost, and then either adding or subtracting as necessary. Your homework tonight is going to be page 305, 4 through 12 even. Once again, page 305, 4 through 12 even. Have a great night.